What up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of Borderless Radio. It's your boy Kanuza with my co-host next to me. What's good, bro?
What's up? Mishra here.
And today we're joined by a very special guest, Mr. Rieta. What's good, my man?
What's up? How's it going? Glad to be here.
Oh, glad to have you. I remember I was super excited to have you on the show once Mystery told us about, a little bit about you, and we're always going to get to know a little bit about you in a few minutes here. But yeah, man, super excited to have you on the show. Everyone's going to have a chance to listen to your banging mix that you dropped. So shout out to that. That's going to be super fun to look forward to. But yeah, man, I mean, Rieta, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got into this whole music scene and music industry, man.
Yeah. So my name's Jonathan. I also go by Rieta. I chose that just because I know a bunch of other Johns, and Jonathan's such a common name. But I have a really unique last name, so why not just use that and try to put that on the map? But yeah, basically I'm a DJ, somewhat getting into producing. But prior to that, I grew up. I guess I first got into music. I started playing guitar, around 7th grade, heavy on Blink 182 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, MO the State album and everything, all the small things. But yeah, I learned how to play guitar, and as I got through high school, ended up joining a couple different bands. Then I was actually in one band called the Electric Vendetta. We were actually somewhat serious. We played a bunch of shows up and down the Bay Area. Played a show all the way out in Arizona once.
Nice.
So actually, we were actually a gigging band and stuff. So that was my first, I guess, serious point with music.
Okay.
And that kind of opened up my eyes about, learning how to play guitar and being in a band helped me learn music structure, helped me learn, how to be creative with music, and just kind of music theory all in general, which are all things that DJs should know how to do,
Mm-hmm.
So basically when I was going to college and stuff, and bandmates were leaving the college, we all broke up because we all had other things to do. Yeah, so there was, yeah,
it's her sad face.
Exactly.
It's her broken heart. Yeah. Shit.
All of our dreams got crushed because people had to grow up, basically.
Yeah. I don't want to grow up.
But at the same time, I was early 20s. I was turning 21. I was starting to focus more on drinking and partying at the time. But silver lining was this is when I was starting to go to clubs. I was starting to meet people who were DJs and all that. So I ended up having friends who were DJs. And since I was still into music but no longer in a band, that's kind of where I found my spark again. I was like, oh shit, I don't gotta be in a band. I could DJ by myself and get that same feeling.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into DJing. A bunch of my friends from San Jose, they had this promotion group called 80s Babies, and they'll throw parties in downtown San Jose all the time, and a bunch of them were DJs, and that's who basically got me into DJing. They, made me learn on vinyl and everything too, a bunch of those Lethal Weapon records and the Classic Party Rocker records and everything.
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's sick.
I remember because that was it wasn't Serato, it was still Scratch Live, and I remember I didn't have a laptop or anything, and they were like, well, if you want to learn, there are some crates, learn this way, and when we think you're ready, then we'll let you use our laptop. So I was like, all right, cool.
Damn, that's an old school way, man.
Yeah, so I learned how to DJ basically just on vinyl and everything, and trying to beat match and everything. I wasn't looking at waveforms or no cue points yet.
They told me when I was learning, I went the crates route, but then my manager at the time in the production company was just like, you need to master internal mode, because if the shit fucks up in front of you, you got to be able to DJ with the computer.
Oh,
it's man. So yeah, I had to memorize all the keys in internal mode.
That's a good technique to have, because there are times before, one of my friends, he's a mobile DJ and he does weddings all the time, and I've helped him out a bunch of times, and there's been so many times where shit has gone wrong, and you just gotta deal with internal mode for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. Or the whole night. Whole night.
And the worst part is if you don't know the keys and you accidentally put it in reverse and you don't know how to get it out of reverse.
And you're not
done
doing
that plenty of times.
Put it in reverse and you're not doing the cha-cha slide.
Exactly. Just oh shit. It can be a disaster. But yeah, definitely knowing internal mode is definitely a good technique to have.
What's your setup like right now? Are you still rocking vinyl, or?
I'm just on DVS. So yeah, I never actually. Well, I do have a couple of vinyl records, but I never. Like as I picked it up, like my first setup, I ended up getting a controller.
Yep.
What was it? It was DDJ SR, like the very first SR.
Oh, you were in the Pioneer game early.
Yeah, it was
Ooh,
the older one. So that was like, and I had that controller like forever. I actually had that controller up until I think it was like last year, until the DDJ 1000 came out.
Damn.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was just rocking that for the longest time until I got the DJJ 1000, and then when COVID hit and shelter in place, I was just like, man, I need to step up my game because I'm just at home all the time. So I ended up getting the Rain 70 mixer, and then I got 2 turntables because I was like, dude, I want to get back to DJing on at least like get that vinyl feel. So now I'm just strictly doing that DVS setup. I still have my controller; it's still tucked away in case if I ever have to do any gigs to bring my controller out. But
Do you feel like you like going forward, like if you're playing at a club or like say like you're playing in San Jose, do you want to take like your vinyl setup with you, or are you gonna just use your controller?
I just use a controller. Like one of the residencies I have still in San Jose, they have a controller setup. It's a DDJ. It's the big one. What is it?
SZ? Is it the SZ?
SZ?
Yeah.
It's like the SZ2 or something. Yeah. So a lot of the spots in San Jose actually have controllers as their setups, which is, I mean, sometimes it sucks because I like spinning on vinyl, but I just do whatever I need to do. I'm comfortable with either one, so it's all good.
That's good though. I mean, like being a DJ, you have to kind of cater to everything that's out there, right? You got to learn. That was like the biggest thing.
Yeah, I just want to be able to like adapt to my environment. I remember, we played at 1015 together.
Yep.
And then,
Wait, who did? Y'all did?
Yeah, I was
What?
I was in a separate room. I was like in the downstairs basement. And he was upstairs.
Yeah.
But I remember when I played there, that was my first time using CDJs, and I'm on Serato. I'm not even on Rekordbox. So I was like, all right, how do I? Yeah, I was like, I need to figure out how to use CDJs on Serato. So I, like a couple weeks before, I learned how to do HID mode. I had to buy like the USB hubs and all that stuff.
Wow.
And like, but then I was like, fuck, just in case this doesn't work, let me, what is it? There's like that, there's a program where you could convert your Serato cue points into a Rekordbox one or something.
Yeah, it's like Record Buddy.
Yeah. So I did that, and I brought up backup USB sticks with a bunch of tracks just in case if like the Serato HID mode didn't work out.
All the shit DJs go through, bro, behind the scenes that people don't know about.
It's nuts. God. So that's funny because like upstairs was CDJs, and I told Giles, I was like, hey, like I'm not like I want to play, but like, can I bring my own controller? So I actually ended up using my SX3 for that show.
So you just plugged it into the main mixer?
Yeah. So I plugged it in. The tech guys at Tip 15, like they were super nice. They were just like, hey, like we'll set it up for you. You know, just play, do whatever you need to do. So I was like, cool. And then after that show, and then I played the Midway. I think a couple months later. Mm-hmm. One of the guys, or like one of the promoters, there was like, hey, like, I'm going to be straight honest with you. Like, this is the best advice I'm going to give you. I was like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, learn CDJs. I was like, what? He's like, no offense, but you look like a kid coming with your own controller. I was like, damn. I was like, that hit home because I was like, yeah, like I felt like a kid, you know what I mean? Like bringing this like little, I mean, it's not little, but like this big controller compared to like that setup. And I'm like, all right. So like the past year has been like practicing on CDJs. And then like, I just put my mixer up for sale and I'm like, all right, time to invest. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, I feel like, especially in like the house music side, like hip hop, I think on CDJs is a lot harder, right? And like the vinyl setup and like reading like waveforms and like scratching, like you need a computer in front of you. The CDJs with like house music or like EDM, it's a whole different atmosphere. And so I'm like, all right, like if I'm gonna go that route, if Mishra's gonna be like house, like for sure you gotta just learn and like feel like the beats and like learn how to play on CDJs with nothing in front of you. So yeah, I feel you.
I mean, at the end of the day, also like you want to be able to show up at a gig carrying the least amount of equipment, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Not a backpack, a controller, and
yeah. I mean, stuff. You know, one like going out and drinking and having a good time, like your shit could be like you don't want to be liable for your own laptop or controller getting fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I lost my laptop charger at the Midway.
Yeah, see, so it's like, I mean, like
so Midway for listening.
Yeah. Lost
I'm gonna need that back.
But you know, you just want to be able to like adapt to whatever gig you're coming to. Like, I definitely want to learn on CDJs too, like just with the USB sticks and everything.
Come on over, bro. Once I get them, come on over.
There you go. Yeah, that's definitely something I want to do too, just because you know, there are gigs where they just have CDJs, and you know, I would love to just show up with USB sticks and headphones that keep all that in my pocket.
Like, I'm ready. Plug me in.
Yeah, let me know when to go.
Plug it in, plug it in.
How'd you, like, so speaking on the 1015 like gig, like, how did you land that? Was it more just like connection through San Jose, or did you reach out? Like, how did you land that?
It's, man, this is, to be honest, I don't know. Like, so one of my friends, Justin, he's friends with Dials. He like helps, he's like his intern or something.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I DJ'd like his, it's like, I guess it's a weed pop-up. I DJ'd one of those things before.
Okay.
And he posted about it, but I don't think he ever, because I got messaged by Dials on Facebook asking if I want to DJ. First he offered asked if I could DJ and open up for Medicine, but then he switched it and did the Outside Lands one. And when I brought up to my homie Justin, who knows Dials, he was like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "I didn't even tell him anything about you." He's all, "He must have just found you on his own on my page or something." Yeah. So that was only like, so I'm still not sure like how Dials really knew about me, but somehow he just messaged me on Facebook and was like,
"Hey man, that means that you're out there. People know about you. Your word is surfacing. Like that's the best way to do it."
So
that's why you're here. That's why you're here right now.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. I was grateful to do that show, and you know, I'm just doing what I love to do.
And then that's all we can ask for at the end of the day, right? Doing what we love to do.
Yeah, definitely. If you make some money on the side for it, then why not?
Heck yeah. Hey, so I was doing a little bit of homework, a little bit of research, and I got to ask you about how the electric Rieta came about.
No, yeah. So going back to earlier, when I was in a band, the band was called The Electric Vendetta, and I had two older brothers. My oldest brother, like, you know, he's just a big brother. He just always gave me shit and would just like rag on me and stuff. And when he found out, like, me and the band, we called ourselves the Electric Vendetta, he just would, that was his way of clowning me. He was like, "Oh, so they should call you the Electric Rieta." And so it kind of just, and then, you know, me as a high schooler, I was like, "No, fuck that, I'm gonna own it." So that was like my AIM screen name, you know what I mean? And I started like
AOL Messenger.
Exactly, yeah. And then, you know,
BBM.
And then early Instagram, like when Instagram first started, my Instagram name was Electric Rieta, just because like it picked on with like some of my friends and stuff, and they would just, that was kind of like my nickname.
That's dope. It's funny, like I didn't know, like, I mean, your last name and like using it as a DJ name, that's the same thing with me, right? Like Mystery's my last name, and like I flipped like the I into a question mark, but like the same thing. It's like, it's just, I just want to get it out there, and like I think it's just a fun name. So it's crazy. It's crazy how what like, I guess nationality, but like culture, like you can use it and use it to your experience. So
yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, it's something that I'm proud of. It's something that represents me, and it's unique.
Exactly.
You know, and it's something that at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to want to change 2 or 3 years later or something. If I stuck with Electric Rieta, at some point I'm going to be like, damn, I should have just left out Electric, you know? So like, it's something like, and you know, it makes it easy for promoters to write your check, Rieta.
True.
That's a good point.
No, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just something like, you know, it sticks with me. It's something that, you know, it's my last name, and, you know, I rather have, you know, I want to bring up that name rather than my first name, Jonathan, which is, you know, very basic. I want to bring up my last name, and it sounds unique. I think it sounds pretty cool.
I fucks up Rieta. That's cool. It's a cool name.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it works, but the only problem is, it's funny, like ever since the streaming stuff happened, like when I'm in other people's chats and stuff, I've gotten so many different pronunciations of it. I've gotten Rieta, I've gotten Brita, I've gotten Rieta. It's just so many different terminologies.
Damn.
It's funny, a while back, this was, I think it was December, I was doing a stream for a good friend that passed away. It was like a bunch of us are doing a stream for our friend Jay Reese. And the DJ before me, I'm not sure if you guys know him, but Jose Melendez, he has a pretty big following, and he was on before me. And we never met in person. We always just knew each other through streams and social media. And I was right after him, and he just kept butchering my name right before. He's like, "Up next, DJ Rieta. Up next."
Oh.
And I was just like, "Oh." But then when it was my turn to go on and everyone rated me, I had to like be like, "Hey, no hard feelings, but it's Rieta." and then now just every time I've seen him a couple times in person, and we just give each other shit about it. Rieta, not Rita.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just that's the only downfall with the last name. But other than that, like it doesn't hurt too much.
Nah, but you gotta correct them from the jump. So that's what's up. You gotta make sure that they're saying it right.
Yeah, I mean, I try to, whenever I stream and I see people come in, I just try to make sure they know that it's Rieta and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to. It's too difficult to try to correct people.
Well, I noticed in your mix you had that dope ass DJ drop that I was like, this is Rieta, right?
Yeah,
that girl saying it. Yes, that's another cool.
That's
cool thing
that's another reason why that drop is actually done by my girlfriend.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's funny.
Shout out to girlfriend.
A little side story with that. I needed a drop one because to help correct the name butchering, but this was so early on, like. This was like very pre-pandemic, so I didn't even have a microphone, so I had her record it Ableton, and she was talking to my MacBook like that.
That's crazy.
This is Rieta, and I just basically threw effects, reverbs, and everything. And it was funny. It was in my old apartment. I just had to like close the window, turn off the fans, and we were like really quiet.
Super quiet, yeah.
Super quiet.
Yeah, and she just spoke into my laptop. This is Rieta. And I was
that's
like, yes,
crazy.
It works.
Hey, whatever you got to make it work, right?
Yeah, and now she lives on through all my mixes.
Yes,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your mix and kind of what you put together. I know you recorded it just not too long ago.
Yeah. So when I was asked to do this mix, I wanted to do something that kind of represented San Jose, but also not really just San Jose, but I wanted to show about, like, I like playing a lot of local people's either edits or remixes and stuff. So this mix has a bunch of songs from some friends of mine. There's one from the homie Cutso. There's one from the homie Recognize. My good friend Double A. I have a couple of edits in there from him. And I got one of my own. I got my Hall & Notes edit in there too as well.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah, and it just basically, I just wanted something to encapsulate like my vibe. And before the pandemic, I was throwing this party called New Wave, and basically I just wanted this to represent like that style that we normally throw in this party, which is, just upbeat, like dancey K-Chanada vibe, upbeat, that feel good lounge music. Like you could either dance or you could just chill in the corner with your drink type thing,
Feel good vibes are there for sure, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's just one of those things, and at the same time, just trying to bring up the homies like edits and stuff and help them get some recognition.
That's perfect, man. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. Like we want to focus on bringing up our friends, and like there's so many people that are so talented around us, and like sharing their music or like their art is just like the best way that's going to get known, right? So
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's crazy. Like the Bay Area just has so much talent everywhere.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And there's so many like underrated DJs and producers. Like they're just so much. And like it's crazy with like SoundCloud and Twitch. Like I find out about a lot of them, and then like later on I'm like, oh shit, this person's from Oakland, this person lives in Emeryville, like shit like that. And you're just like, fuck dude, where are these guys been this whole time? They're fire. Yeah,
they've been in quarantine, man.
hiding away.
Away. Well, I think a lot of artists have also come up out of quarantine, like they've always had a passion for music, and then quarantine hit and they're like, well, I can't go anywhere, I can't do nothing. Let me see how this producing thing turns out. Let me learn how this DJing thing turns out. Then all of a sudden, boom, they're like the next big thing,
Yeah, it's definitely the time for people to hone in on their creativity and trying to make something of it, whether if it's DJing or producing or even doing art and like graphic design and like video editing. Like now's the time. Like no one's really going out there and doing stuff. You might as well.
I mean, SF just gone to the orange tier, so you never know.
I did see that. I'm kind of waiting though. I'm waiting till hopefully get vaccinated first before I go wild out. So never know. But yeah, I mean that's good news to see that. Like definitely, I'm definitely not proud, but it's definitely nice to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
When do you see yourself? If you were asked to do a show, when do you see yourself hitting the clubs again for a show? This summer, this fall? When would you? I noticed you said when you get vaccinated, probably.
Yeah. So probably I want to say like maybe late summer or something. I mean, like right now, I still DJ at one spot in downtown San Jose, one of my residencies. But the setup there is so different because they like adjusted for COVID, which like is the reason why I do it. Because I DJ inside behind the glass by myself, away from everybody, which is nice. So it's like I'm away from people. Like I don't have to worry about like people being grimy. I don't have to worry about drunk people asking for requests, which is great.
Yes.
But
yes. No requests.
Yeah. So it's nice. Like I'm just back there by myself doing my own thing. But it's long too. It's like from 7 to midnight. So it's like a 5-hour set. But
all by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's those marathon sets, but I've grown to love them. So yeah.
And I mean that's what makes you better. Shoot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean it's great because that's what like they want me to play like more just loungy, vibey, like K-Tronada stuff, and then like house stuff. Like they don't want like top 40 ratchet stuff. So it's great for me. I'm just like, dude, okay, I'm gonna start off with some like house and disco house, like chill vibes, move into like maybe some more like big room house, and then later I could bring it back down to more like K-Tronada vibes, and then end with like some good like R&B soul stuff. So
they don't want none of that ludicrous that you dropped in the mix. Ask Mystery, the moment that part of the mix hit, and our listeners are gonna hear it, but holy, I was in my car.
Shout out to my homie Double A. That's his edit.
Shout out Double A.
Shout out Double A. Hey, yes. Double A, we'll need that edit our way too. Bro.
For real.
Catch Double A on the on SoundCloud. That's his ludicrous stand-up edit. It might be out already. I'm not sure. He tends to slide me some unreleased stuff. So.
Ooh. But, I need that unreleased list. I need to be on that.
Add us to the list. That's what's up. Well, man, thank you so much for taking out some time today and just telling us about for sure. Telling us about your story. Where can people find you on the socials, in the streaming world? Let us know.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, thisisrieta. You can find me at Twitch, twitch.tv/thisisrieta, soundcloud.com/thisisrieta, and Twitter. Everything's This Is Rieta, so it's all pretty easy.
Nice and consistent.
Yeah, you got to think about branding, right?
Very true.
Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. I stream every Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Twitch. You can find me there, just playing music and messing around like you saw last night.
Having a good time.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm staying home for now until it's safe to do so.
Love it. Thanks for coming on the show, bro. We definitely appreciate it. You are the first guest, so it's definitely something special.
Hell yeah.
And so I definitely hope everyone enjoys the mix that comes after this, because it's nothing but heaters and heaters.
It's good vibes all around. I mean, I heard it probably like 10, 12 times. I was telling y'all. Solid, man. Absolutely solid.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys liked it.
For sure. Rieta, thank you so much. That's it for our episode of Borderless Radio, y'all. Catch y'all at the next one. This is Kanuza signing off. Peace. If y'all trying to catch the next half of this episode,
click the link in the description below.